Right after completing one wave, what should our next target cost be as we start the accompanying one? We can use Fibonacci levels to figure it out by looking at the high and discouraged spots of the wave. We can inspect when the second alternate wave finished, accepting it was around here or another locale, and if it's not finished as of now and there might be another push the alternate way. However, we ought to just say that we completed our second alternate wave at a cost of around $37,600. In that situation, we should zero in on our one. The 618 Fibonacci development level will be around $33,400. I figure this target may be huge in case the CPI data is really shocking and we see a significant drop in Bitcoin's expense, maybe in the accompanying 2 or 3 hours. The 618 Fibonacci development level at an expense of $33,400 is huge, all things considered to watch. From my perspective, it's not likely that the expense will go up an extraordinary arrangement, yet we should regardless be ready if the development report is truly horrible. By and by, could we look at additional specific signs? We ought to discuss our perspective will happen to the expense of Bitcoin. We can see that there is significant solid areas for a reaction happening at the gold Fibonacci extent locale. Notwithstanding, also, as I have recently said in my earlier accounts, emotional moving midpoints are used on the hour, 2-hour, 4-hour, and everyday time spans. The present moment, things are looking astoundingly certain and we are going up. Moreover, expecting that you decide to use the RSI marker on the 1-hour graph for Bitcoin, you could see that it is outlining a higher low RSIA and a lower low. Several hours earlier, there was a mysterious bullish disparity in the oversold district that AT standard spans, similar to precision, they are something almost identical. The Bitcoin cost is forming secret bullish divergences on fleeting time spans, with more awful depressed spots and really encouraging depressed spots. To be sure, as I said several days earlier, on the everyday outline we are seeing signs of costs going down, yet this moment we are not seeing solid areas for any of costs going down. We actually gotten a significant excusal when the expense went up, and there was a lot of trading happening. Along these lines, in this way, I really want to say that accepting Bitcoin goes up, the essential spot it could face resistance is at the splendid Fibonacci extent from the most critical feature without a doubt the base. We simply use the splendid Fibonacci extent on our diagram. You could see that the expense will significant solid areas for face at $37,400, which matches the past most noteworthy expense. This is huge for liquidity. Furthermore, when you measure how much trading the more prominent expenses, you'll see that the value district high is near the gold Fibonacci extent. That is the thing certain people trust. In case we interface our old most raised concentrations with a slanting line of resistance, it will charmingly match the control point. Clearly, I agree with them. This really means that expecting that Bitcoin progresses forward up, we should pay special attention to a particular district where the expense could stop. This locale integrates our previous highs, a corner-to-corner level, a characteristic of control, a value district high, and the splendid Fibonacci extent. At $37,400. When we overcome this dilemma and go up, I figure the expense of Bitcoin could show up at one more high above $38,000. What might it be prudent as far as we're concerned we trade today? We could look for one more opportunity to sell, or maybe to buy. If you haven't proactively bought gold at the Fibonacci extent, I don't trust getting it now is brilliant. We will after a short time see CPI data that could impact the expense of Bitcoin. As of now, I don't trust it's truly savvy to buy or save gold for a surprisingly long time with the exception of assuming that you got it at the gold fib. If we right as of now say that we completed our most paramount rushed part wave here, and we got in like manner our resulting part wave, clearly, what is the accompanying expense target? All we want to do, we go with our Fibonacci extension levels from our swing high, back to our swing low, back towards the completion of our ensuing part wave. We could talk about when this second alternate wave truly finished, if it was really at this specific district, or maybe at this specific area, or maybe in case it's not even finished as of the current second, and we will see another push towards the reverse. However, we ought to just say that we finished our second alternate wave generally at $37,600 USD. In light of everything, we truth be told do need to zero in on our 1.618 Fibonacci increase level, which will be at about $33,400 US. So I would concur that this specific goal will turn into a fundamental component, gave that right now our CPI data will be extremely, unbelievably negative, and we are truly going to see a gigantic reaction in the Bitcoin esteem itself, and we are really going to see a basic drop, maybe in the impending hours, expecting that will be what is going on. If our tremendous assist areas here will with being broken, clearly, I would concur that 1.618 Fibonacci development level is a fundamental expense center for us to concentrate around at $33,400 US, yet as referred to already, somewhat from my perspective, it isn't really likely that we will see a basic push towards NASA, yet as referred to beforehand, we should be organized in light of the fact that envision a situation in which extension report here will be extremely negative. As of now, we ought to examine more bullish signs. We ought to talk about what will be what is happening for the Bitcoin esteem itself. We know right now that we are seeing a basic reaction, or actually an incredibly wonderful reaction, unequivocally at the gold Fibonacci extent locale here. Anyway, in addition to that, as referred to right now in my past accounts, sensational moving midpoints on the 1 hourly, on the 2 hourly, on the 4 hourly time frame, even on the everyday time span right now looking exceptionally bullish, we are in an upswing. In addition to that, expecting that you will go, for example with the RSI marker, assume on the 1 hour time span, Bitcoin is outlining a higher low RSI just out of the plastic new, lower low, and we were even at the oversight locale a few hours earlier, concealed, bullish uniqueness 0.2 hourly time span, for hourly time span, exactly the same thing. Lower low, higher low on the Bitcoin esteem itself, hidden away bullish divergences are right presently being formed on adjacent term time spans. For sure, as at present referred to moreover a few days earlier, on the everyday time span, we are molding negative dissimilarity here, but as referred to, locally talking, we are at this point not precisely seeing any significant negative signs, simply that we have gotten a colossal excusal towards the expected increase on a truly high volume. Consequently, I could truly need to say that expecting Bitcoin does see and happen as it would like towards the possible addition, our area, or genuinely our most paramount neighborhood resistance is again going to be splendid Fibonacci extent. From the high back to our low, applying only the gold Fibonacci extent on our chart. You can see the local resistance will come up definitively at $37,400, changing flawlessly with our past highs for liquidity purposes. Moreover, also, similarly assessing the entire upper expense action with volume, you will see we really have our value locale high around at the gold Fibonacci extent. Certain people similarly express that if we truly do communicate our previous highs with an inclining area of hindrance, that this level situation here will charmingly agree with the characteristic of control. Likewise, for sure, I would agree with them. So what we can write as of now say, accepting Bitcoin continues with higher, our most critical neighborhood resistance for us to zero in on, it will be this specific zone, around our past highs, generally our RI level, our place of control, our value locale high, and clearly similarly the splendid Fibonacci extent at $37,400. At the point when we start breaking this specific area of resistance toward the possible addition, from my perspective, we can be looking for a brand new higher high to be molded on Bitcoin more than $38,000 USD. Notwithstanding, buy, what will be our trading considerations for the present? Where we can truly be looking for a crisp out of the plastic new short, maybe a long or a buying position. As of now, if you haven't recently entered a perfect long or a buying position at the gold Fibonacci extent, going with a long or a buy here, as I might want to think, it isn't precisely going to be the best choice. Basically, furthermore, understanding that in the impending hours, we will see CPI data that is for the most part apparently going to impact the Bitcoin esteem itself. So going with a long or a buy as of this second, from my perspective, if you haven't done as such at the gold Fibonacci extent, not the best decision. I would concur that going with a short circumstance as referred to before with a trading thought. Of that this here being an inspiration and this here being a correction, and that we can at this point expect lower is in like manner going to be exceptionally dangerous considering the way that general expense action here looks still very bullish. The solicitation stream here furthermore looks staggeringly bullish, so clearly going right now. With a short it's similarly going to be essentially hypothesizing, so as I would see it right now the best decision will be clutch see what tier right after. Completing one wave, what should our next target cost be as we? The worth of Bitcoin has remained reliable at around 37,000. In the current video, we'll talk about why we could see colossal changes in Bitcoin's expense in the accompanying several hours. The development in Bitcoin buyers and a looming extension report are the reasons behind this. In the first place, what we will see genuinely appears to be like that, Bitcoin got excused at $38,000 and went down. At this point as of now it is apparently forming a helpful model on the 2-hour chart. Yet again as of late, the expense went down. We are going towards $36,000. It seems like there is a little change in the value. Expecting we look at any rate and most essential places, the fundamental extent is the Fibonacci extent. Moreover, when we look at how much trading and the improvement of expenses, it seems like there is a response at the lower end of the expense range. Besides, we furthermore wiped out a couple of resources for liquidity reasons. In addition, it gives off an impression of being that there is a conspicuous response to the cheaper reach while taking a gander at trading volume and cost instabilities. This moment, we are seeing a little improvement upwards. However, might Bitcoin at any point stay at this level of help for the accompanying several hours? Also, might at any time keep on going higher? This second, people are watching the market close to see what others are doing. It really has all the earmarks of being that way. Without a doubt, we think things are doing perfect right now. In the Bitcoin diagrams, our CVD marker shows that a greater number of people are selling than buying. This suggests there is a lot of selling pressure keeping watch, in spite of the way that Bitcoin's expense is at this point higher than beforehand. On September 14th, I posted a tweet on Twitter about Bitcoin. I communicated that there is a lot of interest in Bitcoin on the CVD marker. People are just buying significantly anyway, not succeeding. In any case, in this particular situation, we have a sign that the expense could start to go down. One more high point is being outlined on the CVD marker. Bitcoin was making a lower high, but as of now it is doing the converse. We are seeing that the credit for Bitcoin is going up, yet the CVD pointer is showing an uncommon disappointment. This plans that assuming that this meant that Bitcoin's expense would go down, it's a significant exhortation at Bitcoin's expense at the present time that we are seeing something completely different, which is truly going to be a good sign for the Bitcoin cost. Unfortunately, it's not commonly so particularly normal as you would normally think. On September 14th, when I posted this, it was a significant sign that the expense of Bitcoin could go down. In any case, the expense of Bitcoin has gone up a ton lately. Expecting we look at the 4-hour chart, we can see that it happened at a specific time. Bitcoin forged ahead up. What am I endeavoring to say? For sure, it gives off an impression of being that way. We are at present seeing a lot of buying activity keeping watch, which is making costs go up. Anyway, we can't just accept this data and say Bitcoin will go up in regard. This is especially clear in light of the fact that new development data will be conveyed soon. What we can expect to see is a significant downfall from 3.7% changes into around 3.3 anyway. In the accompanying several numbers, we will sort out what the authentic data shows. Expecting Bitcoin progresses forward with the alternate way, this is in light of the fact that a piece of the specific signs, especially the solicitation stream, are looking extraordinarily certain. Nonetheless, there's another really critical thing that I really want to fill you in about. Envision a situation in which the signs that costs will go up are misguided and we will truly progress forward down and headway the assist districts we with having. Since, assuming that we look at a 1-hour time frame, I recently referred to that this could be solid areas for A. Besides, I acknowledge we all in all can agree that this cost advancement looks outstandingly medicinal. So in case we make a gauge right now, it suggests that Bitcoin could have shown up at its Bitcoin has been reliably trading at the 37,000 locale, and in the present Bitcoin cost assumption video, we'll examine the reason why huge worth improvements can be expected sooner rather than later, considering the way that not simply we are seeing some insane bullish maintenance, yet what's more, a totally new development report will go live. In any case, as an issue of some significance, what we will see, it really is by all accounts that, after an excusal at 38,000 USD locale, without a doubt, Bitcoin got a basic push towards disadvantage, but from there on out, we are basically outlining a helpful illustration or the like, essentially looking on the 2-hourly time frame. As of late, we got another push towards downside. Towards 36,000 US dollars, where it genuinely appears like we are right currently seeing a small reaction, since, in such a case that we go from our swing low back to our swing high, what is the fundamental Fibonacci extent? It is truly going to be our splendid pocket, which was definitively at this specific area. Furthermore, assessing the entire upper expense action with the volume, it really appears like we are seeing a reaction at the value district low. Also, what's more, we in like manner took out specific lows for liquidity purposes, thusly, we were trading at a close by help district or the like. Moreover, the current second we are seeing a little turn back towards the possible increase. Clearly, the request is Bitcoin going to have the choice to hold our area of help for the accompanying a few hours here? Moreover, truly continue with its way a lot higher towards the backwards, because the truth is paying as of now, very close mindfulness in regards to what others are doing, keeping watch. It really is by all accounts that. For sure, we are seeing a couple of bullish signs happening right. As of now in the Bitcoin frames, our CVD pointer, which is assessing if the exchanging pressure is coming, watching out, we are seeing a basic push towards burden, which right presently suggests selling pressure is coming directly in the market, while Bitcoin is at this point outlining a higher low or the like. By and by, on Twitter, on 14th of September, I posted a particularly captivating tweet, which truly said tremendous maintenance on Bitcoin is correct now happening on the CVD pointer. People are simply buying, especially incapably. Nevertheless, for this present circumstance here, we got a negative uniqueness. Perfect higher high was outlining on the CVD pointer that while Bitcoin was molding a lower high at present, for this present circumstance that we are seeing right now, it is from a genuine perspective completely unique. We are seeing a higher credit Bitcoin, yet a brand new lower low on the CVD pointer. So in case this here was a negative sign for Bitcoin, was a full alert for the Bitcoin esteem itself as of the current second that we are seeing completely unique, which is truly going to be a bullish sign for the Bitcoin esteem itself. Anyway, it isn't the case, unfortunately clear as you would think, considering the way that on 14th of September, when I posted this, for sure, it was an enormous negative sign for the Bitcoin esteem itself. Regardless, we have gotten a basic guide in the Bitcoin esteem itself since, assuming that we go right now, for example, on the 4-hour time span and see when this was truly happening, it was really happening generally at this specific district, Bitcoin just continued with extensively higher. Towards the opposite. So what do I have to say with this? For sure, it is by all accounts that we are seeing right now the solicitation stream that is coming in the market certainly and bullish. In any case, tragically, we can't simply carelessly accept this